Now, to add to my conspiracy theory about Keith Thurman being used as a placeholder versus TSZYU to then pull a last-minute switch up to a tall, lanky southpaw named Sebastian Fundora. Remember, Keith Thurman had to pull out of the fight due to a torn bicep or an injury to his arm. Now, he did post a copy of his MRI report, but here's the thing. We all know, those of us who've been injured, you can get the MRI the same day you get injured, or you might not be able to get it for a while, depending on whether you have insurance coverage or whatever. So the date of the MRI doesn't indicate when Keith Thurman was injured. I suspect he knew he was injured all along. He made a deal with PBC, and he then got the surgery after he announced that he had to pull out of the fight. He also had a visitor badge on when he posted from the hospital. Did anybody catch that? I mean, most people, when they post, like footage from a hospital, they're in the gown, they got the hat thingy on, because you got to put that on, the cap, for surgery. But Keith was in his street clothes, and again, he had the visitor name tag on. If you're a patient, you're not a visitor. So I'm not saying he didn't have the surgery done. He certainly posted footage of himself with a cast on. So my theory is Keith Thurman knew he had an arm injury. He knew it was going to require surgery, and he and PBC had a deal. They just needed Keith to sell this fight, because Keith is, he loves to talk, he loves the camera. He can sell the fight. It's their very first time on Amazon Prime, so they need a mouthpiece, right? But remember, TSZYU was the world champion, but this was a non-title fight because the boxing organization would not sanction Keith Thurman to be a challenger for TSZYU's 154-pound title belt, because Keith Thurman never fought at 154, so they can't sanction him. In turn, that makes no sense for Amazon Prime to approve a card where there's a non-title fight as the main event. So boxing did TSZYU dirty in that whole Keith Thurman, Sebastian Fundora switch-up. But as of last night, I'm just very sad for TSZYU, because he seems to be a very earnest person and a hard worker. I'm not sure what went wrong in camp, if anything went wrong. He said he felt great, so from the sounds of it, no. But perhaps he was just not fully warmed up, or simply just didn't fully prepare for Bakram. But I do wish TSZYU a full recovery. I hope he takes at least 3 months off. He shouldn't spar for definitely not 60 days, maybe even 90 days. And once he's fully recovered, I do hope to see TSZYU back in the ring. But first and foremost, wishing him a full recovery.